views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Good morning. A woman in custody claims officers wouldn't let her use the bathroom, and outrage now at the footage that has gone viral. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs warning against travel to parts of Haiti. And officials say new HIV cases have dropped 47% since 2020. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Friday, July 18th, 2025. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Also this morning, we are going to be getting details about the private equity fund that is opening next week for two major energy projects. We'll talk with CFAL about what you need to know. That's all ahead and much more. But first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while you're sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, the Royal Bahamas Police Force says it's investigating a video that depicts a woman in police custody claiming officers denied her request to use the restroom. It noted that the responsible officers, quote, will be dealt with to the fullest extent of the law. The video purportedly showing the woman defecating on the floor of the police station. She also uses the N-word repeatedly during the recording in an apparent reference to police officers. In the statement released yesterday, the police force saying they, quote, wish to inform the public that the video circulating on various social media platforms regarding a Caucasian female in police custody is being thoroughly investigated. Furthermore, the police would like to inform the public that the actions displayed by police officers in the video are not a reflection of the organization's policies or laws. It said that such actions will not be tolerated and those found culpable will be dealt with to the fullest extent of the law. The statement noted that the woman in the video was released from police custody pending further investigation. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs warning Bahamians to avoid all travel to areas of Haiti impacted by gang violence as the neighboring nation plunges deeper into a political crisis. political, social, and economic crisis. The ministry says that, quote, avoid all travel to areas in Haiti impacted by gang violence, widespread kidnappings, political instability, and severe shortages of essential supplies. All but essential travel is advised to other areas, as described. There is a high risk of violent crime, including armed robbery, murder, and kidnapping, frequent civil unrest, limited access to airports and borders, and natural disaster risks. Throughout its modern history, Haiti has had difficulty with the establishment of a stable democracy and a complex history of economic, political, and social woes. In recent years, though, things have worsened considerably into an humanitarian crisis. The Bahamas saw 156 newly reported cases of HIV in 2024, representing a significant decrease in cases reported in the last decade. That's according to statistics revealed by the Ministry of Health. On Thursday, Director of National HIV/AIDS and Infectious Disease Program at the ministry, Dr. Nakia Forbes, confirming that 3,988 people were living with HIV in the country by the end of 2024, with that number accounting for 1.1% of the population. She says HIV diagnoses have dropped by 47% since 2010, from 292 in 2010 to 156.4. And work is slated to begin on extending Long Island's Deadman's Key Airport within the next 2 weeks, according to Bahamas Hot Mix Managing Director Ebby Sadie. The company was contracted to extend the runway to 6,100 feet, allowing for traffic from regional jets. Officials say the work should be completed within another year, and the new runway will be able to accommodate jets from as far away as New York and Canada. Overseas, the European Union approving today a raft of sanctions against Russia over its war in Ukraine, including a lower oil price cap, a ban on transactions with Nord Stream gas pipelines, and the targeting of more shadow fleet ships. The European Union Foreign Policy Chief Kaja Kallas statement, quote, the message is clear, Europe will not back down in support for Ukraine. The EU will keep its war. Kallas said the measures amount to one of the strongest sanctions packages against Russia to date, linked to the war now year. It comes as European countries start to buy U.S. weapons for Ukraine to help the country better defend itself. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky welcomed the new measures, describing them as timely and necessary amid intensified Russian attacks. In sports, brought to you by Colleague, the Bahamas' 14 and under and 18 and under girls national softball teams experiencing mixed results on opening day of the 2025 Pony International Softball World Series in McAllen, Texas. The 14 and under softball team prevailed 13-2 in the tournament opener against the STX Sun Devils. In the following game, the Bahamas drew 3-3 against Team Force. The team now holds a 1-0-1 win-loss draw record in the tournament. Meanwhile, the 18 and under softball team did not fare as well on opening day, dropping their first matchup against Clutch 8-0. They were more competitive in the second matchup against STX Lightning, but still came up short 8-6. More on that in today's Guardian Sports section. The Bahamas senior men's national basketball team will look to make an historic run at the upcoming 2025 FIBA International Basketball Federation AmeriCup tournament, slated for August 22nd through 31st in Nicaragua. The national team will compete in Group A of the group stage alongside the United States, Brazil, and Uruguay. First Vice President of the Bahamas Basketball Federation, Moses Johnson, speaking about the preparations ahead of next month's tournament, saying they're coming along well and they've identified the coaching staff and players trying to get commitments. They're still in the preliminary phase, though, winding that down so they can get ahead and name the team. Team Bahamas managed to use some hometown cooking to take down Cuba 97-74 in the final window of the AmeriCup qualifiers at the Kendall Isaacs Gym. They dropped their final game of the qualifiers against the USA 105-83, but their dominant victory over Cuba secured the home team one of the top 3 qualifying spots for Group D for the 2025 FIBA AmeriCup tournament. And the Bahamas Football Association will host the Under-14 Girls International Friendlies between the Bahamas and the U.S. Virgin Islands July 25th and 26th at Roscoe A.L. Davies Field in Nassau. The event features 4 matches over 2 days, giving young players valuable experience and fans a chance to enjoy competitive youth football. Morning matches start at 8:30 a.m. with free entry. Evening matches kick off at 7:30 p.m. at $10 tickets for adults, $5 for kids under 12 years of age. And from the NBA, Damian Lillard is back where he started. Lillard signing a 3-year deal worth $42 million to return to the Portland Trail Blazers. That's according to a person with knowledge of the deal, speaking to the Associated Press on condition of anonymity. ESPN first reported the deal. The 35-year-old Lillard was the 6th pick in the 2012 NBA draft by the Trail Blazers and spent 11 seasons with Portland before he was traded to the Milwaukee Bucks just before the 2023-24 season. However, it might not be Lillard time in Portland just yet for the player known for pointing at his wrist after sinking key shots. Lillard tore his left Achilles tendon during a first-round NBA playoff series against the Indiana Pacers and required surgery, meaning he could miss the entire 25-26 season. The Bucks had waived him earlier this month and stretched the remaining $113 million on his contract over 5 years. At sports, brought to you by Kalik, the beer of the Bahamas, and Pop the Talk. Pop the Top is back and bigger than ever, giving away up to $200,000 in cash and prizes. Purchase your favorite Kalik beer and look under the cap. You could be a winner. Free Kalik beer, Kalik merch, or cold hard cash could be yours just for drinking Kalik. Kalik reminds you to drink responsibly. It is time for your first look at weather, brought to you by Star General. We've got a high-pressure ridge that remains across the country, promoting mostly fresh to strong breezes throughout the country this weekend. A thin layer of Saharan dust will move into the southeastern islands later today, producing hazy skies. Streaming moisture combined with mid to upper-level troughing will support a few isolated showers across the islands. Expect typical summertime weather, though, into early next week. We've also got a near gale warning in effect for waters of Inagua, and there is a moderate to high risk of rip currents affecting all eastern, southern, and Atlantic beaches. Beachgoers in the central and southeast Bahamas are urged to remain on shore and should exercise caution in the northwest and northern Bahamas today. Your forecast for today: for the northern and northwest Bahamas, partly sunny, turning fair and warm tonight. Only about a 10 to 20% chance of isolated showers or thunderstorms. Winds east to southeast at 10 to 50 knots with higher gusts for the northern islands, easterly at 15 to 20 knots, falling to 10 to 50 knots by this afternoon for the rest of the northwest Bahamas. For the central islands, a mix of sun and clouds today, turning fair and warm tonight. For the southeastern islands, partly sunny today, fair and warm tonight. Look for a 10 to 20% chance of isolated showers or thunderstorms for the central and southeastern islands. Winds easterly at 15 to 20 knots. Temperatures today, we're looking at highs around 91, 92 Fahrenheit, 33 Celsius. But the heat index will make it feel like it's 101 Fahrenheit, 38 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 79, 80 Fahrenheit, 26 Celsius. That's your first outlook. Coming up in just a bit. This weather check brought to you by Star General Insurance Made Simple.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning, Blend. When we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on your home for fresh news and smart talk all day. Guardian Radio 96.9.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, wake up.
With RBC, your idea of loving every journey happens now. Free up cash with affordable auto financing from RBC. With competitive rates and no bank fees, it's the perfect time to make every journey something special. Apply now to pre-qualify in 60 seconds at rbc.com/auto loan to shop with confidence. Conditions apply. RBC, your idea of loving your journey happens here.
Shell, you home? My gas just gone out. Let me that small barbecue tank you have. I tell you long time, go get a barbecue tank from Caribbean Gas. They just got a new shipment of tanks of all sizes. Now you know they always have the best prices. Call them, Caribbean Gas, 361-6007 or 552-9597. You want to use my phone? Here, call them now.
Nassau, it's that time again! The Ministry of Tourism, Investment and Aviation presents Bahamas Gourmet Summer 2025. And it all goes down Friday, July 25th on Bay Street. All roads lead downtown Nassau. Friday, July 25th, 12 noon to midnight. Featuring Fanchon, Shine 242, KB, all backed by the Rhythm Band. Also a Chippy Gourmet Rush Out. Friday, July 25th on Bay Street.
Planning for retirement can be overwhelming, but with CFAL, it doesn't have to be. We offer tailor-made individual, group, and pension solutions that take the guesswork out of retirement planning. Whether it's for you or your company, don't leave your future to chance and let the trusted hands of CFAL's experts guide you toward peace of mind and financial stability. Low upfront costs and affordable monthly payments make it easy for you to build wealth so you can live well. Visit us at cfal.com to start on your path toward financial freedom. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
Looking to elevate your gadget game or a tech trouble simply slowing you down? Escape to a world of innovation at Custom Computers, your go-to store for the latest cutting-edge tech. Whether you need to upgrade your life with the best from Apple and Windows or your device needs a little TLC, the Custom Computers Know-How Store is the destination for unbeatable expertise and quality repairs. With 2 convenient locations, there's a Custom Computers near you on Patton Street in Palmdale and Caves Village, or call 396-1100.
Nassau Cruise Port, Kalik, and Ricardo Rum presents the Made in the Bahamas Festival. Join us on Saturday, July the 19th from 3 p.m. to 12 a.m. for a cultural affair hosted by Kenny and the Mighty Pencil. Get ready for live performances by Avi, Fan Sean, Ancient Man, and more. Plus music by the best DJs. Enjoy entertainment by the Royal Bahamas Police Force Band, a Junkanoo Rush Out, giveaways, and tasty Bahamian food. Admission is only $10, so don't miss out. Drink responsibly and celebrate proudly.
Maybe it's time to explore your options. There's no harm in reviewing your mortgage arrangement and considering a better deal. CIBC Caribbean can help you narrow your search and decide. Switch your mortgage to CIBC Caribbean and enjoy a special interest rate and help towards your switching cost. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/inspired home for more information. Conditions apply.
In the world of business, technology is not a choice, it's a necessity. And for businesses that demand excellence, there's only one choice for unparalleled support and cutting-edge technology. Custom Computers. You have challenges and we have solutions. Computing, networking, storage, and printing for enterprises large and small, aligned with premium brands like HP, Microsoft, Konica Minolta, and more. Get tech done the right way with Custom Computers. Call the know-how team at 396-1101.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
For fast, reliable, and impactful printing services, look no further. Let Printmasters bring your masterpiece to life. We stand by our quality products that is second to none. Our affordable pricing and friendly, efficient staff makes Printmasters the ultimate choice for all your printing needs. We can deliver any type of printing services, from banners to booklets to business cards. You name it, we can print it.
Let Printmasters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
No one likes a fender bender.
Oh, man.
From a little scratch to a full mashup, NUA Insurance has got you covered with auto insurance tailored to fit your needs and budget. For affordable rates with free on-site accident assistance, visit us online or in branch and just ask us. NUA Insurance. Ask us because we've got you covered.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
We are back with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. We're streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. Also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas, Channel 969, and BTC Flow, Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us 422-4796. Standard text rate supply. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Coming up on this Friday, we are going to be getting details about the private equity fund that's opening next week. 2 major energy projects you can invest in. CFAL is going to be here to tell us all about that. Later in business, the Deputy Prime Minister has been talking about this, saying that they've got some proposals, I don't even know what term to use, but proposals for development projects for downtown Nassau, and I think he says for Grand Bahama as well. But we want to talk about downtown Nassau. I want to hear from you what you think should be done about downtown Nassau. We have this conversation often, and yet here we are still in the same position, but we want to get your feedback today. What would you like to see? What do you think should be happening? That, and how should we go about doing it? That's all ahead on this Friday, but let's begin with what else is in the news. And in the news, we're learning more about this. This happened overnight. Latest murder, another murder in the country here in New Providence. Investigations continue now into a fatal shooting that happened after midnight on West Street and Patton Street. So, according to police, the victim was retrieving water from a pump when someone in a dark-colored vehicle opened fire in his direction. The vehicle left the scene, heading north along West Street. That man was pronounced dead at the scene. Again, this was after midnight, so just a few hours ago. And hopefully we'll have some more details in our 8 o'clock news, so stay tuned for that. But another murder here in New Providence. Wow. All right, so the big headlines in the papers, 156 HIV cases in 2024. That number is going down. Officials say new at 47% since 2010. And all the details in there in today's Nassau Guardian. Not surprising. I think this was in place before, wasn't it? The Ministry of Foreign Affairs warning people about traveling to Haiti, parts of Haiti, the parts that are impacted by gangs. That's almost every part. But I guess it's good to keep the warnings up for people to understand. But this is the thing that everybody's talking about. Did you see this very disturbing video? It's been, it's gone viral, as they say, right? And now the police are responding to it. A woman in custody claims officers wouldn't let her use the restroom. Rachel Scott writing about this. The Royal Bahamas Police Force says it's investigating a video that depicts a woman in police custody claiming police officers denied her request to use the restroom. It noted that the responsible officers, quote, will be dealt with to the fullest extent of the law. The video purportedly showed the woman defecating on the floor of the police station. Not purportedly. I mean, we see it. It's right there. She also uses the N-word repeatedly during the recording in an apparent reference to the police officers. Many times. So the statement says, quote, police wish to inform the public that the video circulating on a Caucasian female in police custody is being thoroughly investigated. Furthermore, the police would like to inform the public that the actions displayed by police officers in the video are not a reflection of our organization's policies or laws. Hence, such actions will not be tolerated, and those found culpable will be dealt with to the fullest extent of the law. The statement noted that the woman in the video was released from police custody, pending further investigation. All right. So, the officers really were ridiculous. I've never seen anything so stupid. The way they handled this lady, unbelievable. Now, she's a piece of work. But this was uncalled for. We need to, do they still do that? Banish all of them. And kick them out of the country permanently. But they're doing the investigations. Did you see the video? What do you make of it? I want to get a different perspective on this from, here's what's in the Tribune. So they're writing a graphic video showing a half-naked Caucasian woman. I don't know if she was half-naked. I don't think. Okay. Defecating inside a Bahamian police station ignited outrage yesterday and triggered a misconduct investigation within the Royal Bahamas Police Force. Police say the video is under active investigation and insisted the behavior shown doesn't reflect the force's rules or values. They said any officer responsible will face consequences. The woman was later released while the probe continues. The footage, widely shared on social media, shows the woman shouting for access to a bathroom, claiming her repeated requests were ignored. She defecates on the station floor, while voices off camera, presumed to be officers, mock and provoke her. So, she says after the act, visibly distressed, quote, in the exchange, she repeatedly uses racial slurs against the officers who respond with taunts and accusations that she is under the influence of cocaine. One officer tells her to, quote, stay out the coke house. Another officer replies to her use of a slur by twisting it into an acronym saying, my goodness, quote, never ignorant, getting goals accomplished. The video then shows multiple piles of feces on the floor. Officers react audibly to this. This is very graphic, folks. I'm sorry. To the smell, prompting another racial insult from the woman, and who said it was just like one of the officers, and the N-word. The incident appears to have been filmed on a personal device, not a police body camera. We're not sure. But National Security Minister Wayne Monroe confirmed yesterday that the recording breached RBPF policy, saying, quote, that does not look to be a body camera video because body cameras do not display like that. So that would be somebody recording, and that would be against the orders of the Commissioner of Police. Monroe emphasized the seriousness of the situation, noting that while the woman may not have been physically assaulted, the breach of protocol was clear. He said, quote, if you are a policeman and you know you are not supposed to be recording people and you are not supposed to be releasing them, you should expect to be disciplined if that is what you did. I guess he means releasing the videos. Yeah. He added that the investigation led by Commissioner of Police Shanton Knowles must determine whether the officer's behavior amounts to criminal neglect. He said, when you are in custody, you are completely at the mercy of the police for simple things like going to the bathroom or being fed and given water. So it's very important that the police observe the rules in relation to the care of people in custody. Attorney Christina Galanos, who advocates for detainee rights, said the woman's treatment and the circulation of the video represents a serious violation of her rights, saying, quote, she has the right to use the bathroom. That is her right. She ought to be treated humanely and fairly pursuant to the Constitution. Galanos described the incident as a, quote, complete loss of dignity and warned that the viral nature of the footage could inflict lasting damage on the woman's life and reputation, saying, quote, that is a video that is going to be in circulation forever. She added that the officer's failure to de-escalate the situation showed a disturbing lack of professionalism, saying, quote, there appears to be this perception among certain officers that if you verbally abuse them or if you talk to them a certain way, then they have this power right to mistreat you. That is simply not the case. She called the footage dehumanizing and said the woman would likely have grounds for a civil lawsuit based on inhumane and degrading treatment, saying, quote, if you do not have to endure verbal abuse and continue on your job professionally and check all the boxes, then you ought not to be there. She also warned that the international fallout could be severe. Quote, it makes our police force and our country look horrible. If you turn people off with a video like that, they will not come. It was indeed disturbing. Okay, let's get your reaction to this. Again, I feel everybody in the situation behaved very badly. And it was extremely disturbing. But let's get your reaction to it. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Call us toll free, 242-300-5720. Oh, so people saying that she had no pants on. Okay, she was half naked. Okay, just like a long shirt. Maybe she was wearing shorts, but they're saying, okay. Let's take this call. Caller, what say you on this? Doing well. Good morning.
I didn't see the video, but the text itself, I was able to read certain aspects of it. And I think you've touched on, one or two things already, but I don't know how an entire group of persons, because obviously there was more than one officer.
Yeah.
And to the extent that this is, I've worked in law enforcement before, and it always surprises me that the collective mentality, the collective approach of a set of persons can easily fall along that line when the situation arises. Mm-hmm. And to me, it might mean to an extent that the way we match up people for certain assignments, we like to have people of certain mindset, always working in the same cliques and working in the same groups. And sometimes you have to recognize that pretty early that that's usually not good. It's helpful to have people in that group that have a dissenting or a kind of view that is not always in line with buddy practices.
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Groupthink
is powerful, though. Groupthink is powerful. Groupthink is powerful when you get people together. Sometimes I don't know what happens, but you're right. You're right. I don't know if that creates a comfortable working environment generally, but in situations like this, you do need that person who doesn't always agree with everybody else.
Yes, and not necessarily in a disruptive way or a way that creates friction, but simply the what I would refer to as the intellectually or emotionally mature person. Someone in that group should have been able to make a judgment call and say, listen, we are pushing this outside of the lines of what is best practices for the organization. Mm-hmm. Actions not only impacted negatively on the image of the police force, but the entire country.
Yeah.
And so to not have an individual in that group that would have, in the moment, say, how does the aftermath, or even in the I guess the first level would be the humanity of it. Mm-hmm. Let's not even talk about the imagery, which is a secondary thing. The first line of conduct should have been, what is the humanity in this? And there was no one there to point that out. And that's disturbing to the extent that they are police officers. And while I'll close by saying this, while law enforcement is the ability to, be stern in certain situations to bring a certain degree of law and order and conduct to an environment, it should never occur outside of the confines of respecting people's humanity. Mm-hmm. And I think that is the massive failure on part of the persons involved. And it's sad that even though it doesn't reflect the total value of the police force, it has caused almost irreparable damage to the image of the police force.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right, let's take another call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Dwight.
Hi.
You can hear me?
Yes, we can.
Hey, Dwight. The video was very, very disturbing, right? But Dwight, you ever been inside a holding cell inside any police station? No, right?
No.
Right, Dwight. So that's just a little glance of what does take place inside those holding cells when behemoths are inside them, right? Because if the police if the police have a problem with you, like they just demonstrated, them fellas is to defecate, do everything right inside those cells. And man, Dwight, that's a clear. I mean, I'm sorry that the lady had to go through that, right? Because that's when $300,000 we have to go pay her now because see the lawyer then on it, right? But when the behemoth people go through these things, they ain't no repercussion. But Dwight, before I go, right, I just want to say I'm calling for the Bahamas here to stop going to Haiti place. For behemoths to not go to Haiti, right? We should stop bringing all of these people from Haiti every week, man, Dwight. We have to get serious. Please, man, Dwight. Please speak on this matter because
what are you stopping it for?
Telling us to go in a bad place, but allowing the bad place to come to us. What's the sense? What's the purpose? Have a nice day, Dwight.
Okay. Well, there is an answer. I don't want to go down this road today because that will take over the show. But if people have the right to travel and get out of the bad place, and are legally coming, that's and will stay the time that they're supposed to, or move through and go to somewhere else. There's nothing wrong with that. Now, if they decide to stay beyond the time, you need to have the system in place to deal with that, and not have people who will hire them and do all other foolishness. But that's a whole other show and a whole other story. But if there's money to be made and people willing to travel, hey. But I hear you. We'll see what Bahamas Air does with this information, with this warning from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight.
Hi.
Hey, that's for a whole different show, right?
It is. Don't,
Yeah.
you're not going to take us down there, right?
Yes, sir, they have their right to travel where they want to travel. We have our, like how we have our right to travel where we want to travel in the world. People who say ever began to have their right to don't accept us to come to their country or not. You agree? And Donald Trump them doing it?
No, they're not. I mean, they have some.
Blocked a couple countries.
Yeah,
like
but
Haiti.
what are the reasons for it? Right? I mean, what are the reasons? Are the reasons the same
Might
reasons?
be similar or a little different than the reasons why our government or maybe the Foreign Affairs Ministry saying to do it.
Okay.
You agree?
I hear you. I hear you.
Okay, I didn't get a chance to listen to it, although I can't say I normally listen to them. But I wanted to ask you a question. Who says the person should sue what you was reading? Does the lawyer say that?
She said that she has grounds to, if she were so inclined.
Who is she, the lawyer?
The lawyer says that the woman in the video has grounds to, more than likely.
Yes, that's what I asked. Okay,
Yeah.
the lawyer say that. Okay, and what the lady, what they bring her in there for?
We don't know. I don't know. That's not been mentioned. It would be good to know.
Yeah, the reporters need to stick to them, get back to them, and find
Well.
out that because the story, that piece little lost in the story, and that's very important. But some people may say it ain't important. It's what happened, and it's sad.
Well, it
what
is
happened.
important.
Okay.
It is important. It's not essential, but it is important.
Okay.
Probably disorderly conduct, but who knows? Who knows? But she's certainly not a saint.
See, why
But she didn't deserve that treatment.
Dwight, why I say that is because all the races, some people could be a handful. They could be, a lot to deal with, more than a handful, a piece of work, some people would say. But the color, even if that was a black person, see, the thing, let me say this first, those Caucasian white people, especially in America, we don't want them to think, and I think they sensible enough to know all of us don't think that way, and we understand how important it is, and we love Caucasian, all races, and we treat them good here as much as we could as possible. But I think the difference is that this thing with the Caucasian woman, it was on video. It's important to find out, well, who do the video, but thank God for the video, right? Because, like I said, but the color of skin, the other day, one Bahamian lady, and the world watch how we treat our own. I think she's a black lady. They say she might have carry on like a man, but she looked like a woman. I think she was questioned either for murder or some kind of serious case. And I think it was reported in the news that they say either the police them mash her hand and they was teasing her and making sport her. Now, that wasn't on video for us to see. But all of them could be civil matters. Two wrongs don't make a right. And I think, like, they need to be very careful. And like the caller say, this ain't the first time people defecate, y'all say, inside these cells and stuff like that. But the important thing is for us to get the message across that we don't condole this. And the same way they deal with I don't know if to say the lady who they say is carry on like a man, but she's a woman, they should be subjected to the same thing. All these people, I know the lawyer might have said something, but I didn't hear, I don't know if I missed it, where the commissioner of police, like how she talking right now, then it was reported in the news to say that was wrong if it did happen, and they apologized if it did happen. To that Bahamian lady who was questioned for murder, who they say is carry on like man. Keep up the good work.
Okay, all right. So several things. So this wasn't a cell, right? I don't think those who watched it, I couldn't really. It's so disturbing. Had to watch it from afar. When the videographer zooms in on some things, he's like, why are you doing this repeatedly? But anyway, I believe this is right in the so they call it reception area, right where when you walk in. So it's not a cell. And I see somebody asking body cam. So I don't know if they normally have the body cams on in that part of the police station. So, But I think the previous caller made a really great point that what might be seen as people's rights being violated happen all the time in these police stations. People asking for water, people asking to go to the bathroom, people asking for all manner of things. And they're getting told all God knows what by officers, and we don't have videos to show it. And there's outrage now because, yes, it's a foreigner, and possibly because it's a Caucasian, but we know that these things are happening, and very little has been done to address it. Now, this might be the turning point, but it's very sad that it's taken us this long to get here, possibly because we don't even know if anything's really going to come out of this. But that is very, very sad. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259, toll free, 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. What should be done here? Should those officers be on the force anymore, or is there training that can be done? You have to go through a course, you think? Or too far gone? What do you think? This texter says here, okay, and so what? The texter says, the N-word is the most used word in the Bahamas. I hear that word about 100 times a day across the board. And what about it? What's your point? So carry on smartly. Officers shouldn't get offended by it and should just treat it. Okay. I hear you. This person says here, is this a parable for the modern Bahamas? Tourist poops on us and gets away with it? Well, like we said, we would like to know what it was that she was brought in for. That would be interesting. This texter says here, it's not just the tourists doing that, though. It's a whole bunch of people doing it. Every day. Every minute. Every second, some might say. It's Poopville, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, this person says it is, as an officer, it is a right for the suspect to be allowed to use the restroom, especially before they go to court. A lot of decency nor compassion, regardless of who they are. They're not exempted from the basic rights. Also, I'm happy that video got out because across all stations in the Bahamas, how many more situations like this are happening, but it's not recorded and it doesn't make it out of the station. Yeah, exactly. And tons of Bahamians have had their rights violated. Probably every day. And there's nothing they can do about it, it seems. Caller, we'll get to you in a second. This person says there's someone in the group that thinks outside of the group, and it is why they taped it and released it. Well, I don't know about that. I believe a lot of the commentary is coming from the person who was recording, and they possibly recorded it for sport. Yeah, I don't think it was, God help us, look what's going on around here. No. But what do I know? This person continues to say, and I hope it was a female officer, and I would be very upset if the person who taped it gets released from the force. Okay. Dwight, great show. That girl is black and Bahamian. I know her. Okay. And I've lost all respect for the police. It's story time. Females beware. I was arrested for touching an officer's hand held... I guess, okay. Handheld device, you mean, in the station, more than 48 hours without being charged, 5 days exactly. Refused my sanitary napkins, tissue, clothes while my period was on, oh God. Denied visitors, then the hungover officer in charge tried to carry me, I don't know if I should read this. Tried to carry me and my 73-year-old mom to court, got in an accident, almost killed us, then tried to drag us to court out of the ambulance, made the EMS workers lie about what happened. Police seem to hate women. Oh, boy. Today is Friday, right? Okay, good. So, okay. What? Why did you touch the officer's handheld? What were you doing? Or you tried to touch the officer's hand and you were held in the station. That's what you mean? Okay, you touched the officer's hand and were held in the station for about for more than 48 hours. Why did you touch the officer's hand? My head is hurting. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Mr. Strachan.
Hi.
Yeah, if it were me, I would make sure the officers face the full extent of the law, even if it means termination. And if that lady broke the law, the lady who was defecating, if she broke the law in any way, I would make sure she faced the full extent of our laws as well. Thank you.
Okay, all right. A texter saying, if she were Bahamian, this wouldn't be a story. Oh, boy. Well, I don't know. I mean, and there was video? I'm not sure about that. I'm not too sure. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not, but it's a bigger story because she doesn't appear to be from here. But boy, that's sad if that is the case. This texture says here, we focus on the minor parts of the problem. I'd like to know why the officer had to record the woman on a cell phone. Where were the body cameras Wayne Monroe speaks about? Or does he not know anything about that either? Where are the cameras inside the police station to ensure transparency and accountability of jailers who have tremendous power over men and women? Her behavior is irrelevant. The lawyer is correct. If you can't handle belligerent and disorderly people in a safe, non-dehumanizing manner, don't join the police force, because that is the job. Reception area, does it matter? Where are the cameras in the station? Okay, I hear you. Yep, perhaps everywhere they should have them. This texter says here, I watched the video several times. Several. Okay. And considering the officers were repeatedly subjected to racial slurs and the woman even defecated on herself, I believe the officers responded with restraint. That woman should focus less on playing the victim and more on behaving with basic decency. Well, as I said, everybody here behaved very badly. Everybody. All of them. They go on to say her behavior was abhorrent and disgusting, and she had to not be wearing pants for her to defecate so easily on the floor. So a woman calls y'all black Bahamians the N-word, and y'all want justice for her? Wow. It's bigger than that, texter. Right? As people keep saying, 2 wrongs don't make a right. That's ridiculous. These are police officers, not people on the side of the street who were offended. Police officers. They can't be acting like your ordinary street thugs and taking out justice the way they see fit. They are held to a different standard. And if you don't get it and they don't get it, we're in big, big, big problems. We're doomed. We're doomed. But again, all of them, ridiculous, if you ask me. This person says, you're not condoning what the police did. They are known for treating Bahamians horribly, and no one comes to our aid. On the other hand, the young lady was very nasty, calling the officers the N-word, but that was demeaning. But our commissioner of police must be fair to Bahamians as well. Well, this is what we're saying. This is time for a reset. The behavior towards everybody has to change. You cannot be talking to people. I mean, I don't even think it's acceptable to talk to dogs like this. That would not be. You can't do that. That's crazy. You're not going to get the response you want. So why would you do this to a human? Boy. By the way, it always takes a foreign, especially a white person, to expose corruption and slackness in the Bahamas. This texture says they need to be fired. That's it. That's all they're saying. Who recorded the video? It seems to be one of the officers. I mean, it can't be somebody off the street just standing there while the police officers are there. So obviously it's one of the officers, obviously. Good morning, folks. Yes, Dwight, you and the Bahamas truly do not want to go in a station or a cell. Shouldn't the commissioner of police be commenting on the jail matter? Why is the minister involved? The police issued a statement. They did. If you missed that part, I'll read it for you. But they did issue a statement saying they're investigating this matter. But let's read it one more time. So it says, general information. The police wish to inform the public that the video circulating on various social media platforms regarding a Caucasian female in police custody is being thoroughly investigated. Furthermore, the police would like to inform the public that the actions displayed by police officers in the video are not a reflection of our organization's policies or laws. Hence, such actions will not be tolerated, and those found culpable will be dealt with to the fullest extent of the law. Lastly, the female suspect in this matter was released from police custody pending further investigation. So when will we find out how they will be dealt with? Will we ever know who they are? Lots of investigations have gone on in many different departments and agencies, and we never know what happened. Defense Force, immigration, all kinds of stuff going back years, and we just don't know. We keep asking, and then they just say, we're still investigating. We're still investigating, and then years go by, and you just, oh yeah, remember that? And like, and then that's that. And then it happens again. And we start the game all over. Oh, we'll have to investigate. This is not to be tolerated. This doesn't reflect who we are. Yeah, you sure? Okay. This texture says here. I'm not going to read that. This texture says it was wrong that what the officers allowed to happen to that woman. That must have been embarrassing for her. Another text here. The woman police commissioner has to now show what she's made of. Why did you have to put that in there? This brings disrepute to the police force. Fire them now. Okay. The police commissioner, I don't think you have to add the gender in there. Any police commissioner would have to deal with this and show what they're made of. Officers do that. Male and female officers abuse physically and mentally. Don't forget the verbal diet they force on you. Trust me, I've seen plenty and no one to complain to. Stop it. If it was a Bahamian, sir, nothing would be done. Wake up, Dwight. You are softening the blow of the reality with your constant doubts because you and your friends live where. I don't know what you're saying. That video, if there were a video with a Bahamian being treated like that, something would be, we'd have a similar situation. I don't know if it would result in anything serious, but I don't think it would just be, oh, well, another day at the police station. It wouldn't be like that. So I don't know what you're doing. I don't even know why you're trying to insult me. Please. Anyway, don't downplay our plights. Not doing that. Not doing that. Just saying that I don't think it's fair to say, while this happens a lot, there aren't videos showing it. And where there have been videos with the police doing foolishness, there have been consequences. So to say that would be like nothing if it were a Bahamian is a silly thing to say. But anyway, you all. What did Popper say? We love everybody. But ban the flights from Haiti. Yes, do that. All right, this texter says here, okay, this is the texter with the great story from earlier. I touched the police officer's hand by mistake and was lied on by them, and the judge that we went before was very angry over what they did and dismissed the case. But the girl in the video knows... The girl in the video knows that she's black. Also, that's why she felt so comfortable saying that. And yeah, that's more. I think we should take a break. Yeah? We've got some baby music for us, Mr. Producer, while we go to break. It's a good time to catch our breath. And we'll pick up the calls and the text messages on the other side of the break. This is, I feel like I'm in a police station right now. This is a very weird Friday morning on Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
Brown skin gal, go home and mind baby. Brown skin gal, go home and mind baby. Father gone away on a sailing boat.
Maybe it's time to explore your options. There's no harm in reviewing your mortgage arrangement and considering a better deal. CIBC Caribbean can help you narrow your search and decide. Switch your mortgage to CIBC Caribbean and enjoy a special interest rate and help towards your switching cost. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/inspired home for more information. Conditions apply.
It's time for your first look at traffic for the morning, brought to you by RBC. With RBC, reaching your goals happens here. In real-time traffic, we've got heavy traffic on Milo Butler Highway from well north of the Fire Trail roundabout, just around Harold Pond. As you approach Harold Pond, you'll see that heavy traffic ahead of you on the way to Tonic Williams-Darling Highway if you're heading northbound. Blue Hill Road also busy for you just north of Carmichael Road and especially north of Soldier on the way to Independence Drive. Quite a few cars in front of you as you make your way over that hill. And some slow-moving traffic on East Street heading northbound towards the roundabout with East-West Highway. Elsewhere, manageable at this hour, but we will have another update for you after the 8 o'clock news. This morning, land traffic alert brought to you by RBC. With RBC, your ideas happen here. And it's time for another check of your weather for today. We've got a high-pressure ridge that is across the islands, promoting mostly fresh to strong breezes throughout the weekend. A thin layer of Saharan dust is going to move over the southeastern islands later today, and that's going to produce some hazy skies. Streaming moisture combined with a mid to upper-level trough will support a few isolated showers across the country. And expect typical summertime weather patterns into early next week. There is a near gale warning in effect for waters near Inagua, and there's a moderate to high risk of rip currents affecting eastern, southern, and Atlantic beaches. Beachgoers in the central and southeast Bahamas are urged to remain onshore and should exercise caution in the northern and northwest Bahamas. For today, we're looking at partly sunny conditions turning fair and warm tonight across most areas. Only about a 10 to 20% chance of showers or thunderstorms today. Look for high temperatures around 91, 92 Fahrenheit, about 33 Celsius, but the heat index will make it feel like it's 101, 102 Fahrenheit, 39 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to a very warm 80 or 81 Fahrenheit, about 26, 27 Celsius. For your weekend, for Saturday, tomorrow, partly to mostly sunny, turning fair to partly cloudy at night. Only about a 10 to 20% chance of showers in the northern and northwest Bahamas, 20 to 30% chance for the rest of the country. A mix of sun and clouds by Sunday, becoming partly cloudy. By Monday, rain chances go up quite a bit, 30 to 40% chance with partly cloudy skies and mostly cloudy to occasionally overcast for the northern and northwest Bahamas. By Tuesday, partly cloudy to cloudy for the central islands, a mix of sun and clouds for the southeastern islands. We'll take a closer look at the tropics in our next weather check. This weather check brought to you by the Nassau Guardian. Pick it up on newsstands or go to thenassauguardian.com online.
Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
It's been a long time since I had a date, 'cause I had always worried
We are back with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strong with you on this Friday morning. We are talking about what's in the news, getting a reaction to that very disturbing video that went viral with a woman in custody who was saying the police were refusing to allow her to use the restroom, and she defecated all over the floor of the police station. And the police force saying they're investigating this now and that this is not in keeping with the standards of the police force, and the officers involved, well, they will see what happens. If people are found culpable, they say they will be dealt with to the fullest extent of the law. We're getting a reaction to it all. What form? What should that take? What should that look like? What form should that take? And what do you make of everything that happened there? We're hearing people say this happens to regular Bahamians almost every day at police stations. And unfortunately, there are no videos, and so nothing has come out of it or changed. But will this be different now? And will this change the culture of the force? 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Call us toll free, 242-300-5720. Text us 422-4796. Well, to those, just a reminder that coming up in just a few minutes, we're going to be talking about something completely different. Investing in the private equity fund that's going to be getting underway next week. 2 major energy projects. And what you need to know about it. We're going to get into that. And later in business, we're talking about what the Deputy Prime Minister says are some proposals for downtown, and it's for Cable Beach as well, he said. And we'll get to what he said and what you think needs to happen in downtown Nassau. All right, so that's all ahead, but let's continue with this discussion. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259, and again, toll free 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us 422-4796. Here's a text. It's not about justice for her. It's about humane treatment for me, my family, my loved ones, or any Bahamian, should any of them end up in the hands of the police. For anything. You could be part of a street protest or a law-abiding person arrested in the House of Assembly, and a police officer denies you access to a bathroom and then records you, and you lose control of your bowels. You could be a female that an officer decides to assault, sexually or otherwise, while hidden behind closed doors. This is not just about her, I guess they're saying. Okay. So this is what we've been saying, and yes, the texter earlier is saying that there should be cameras everywhere. And so even if somebody's recording, we should be able to go back to that camera to see what's happening and investigate every complaint so that this can change. And as you said, no matter what, this is what Christina Galance was saying in that article as well, no matter what is thrown at the police, literally, they have to be able to handle it, and they have to be above this. And no, it's not easy at all to tolerate the name calling and the abuse and the bodily liquids that are probably thrown on you. But you have to be above that as a police officer. You have to not be like a regular person on the side of the street who would act in this manner. Let's go to the phone lines and get back to your text messages in just a bit. Caller, what say you on this? Let's get your view on it. Hi, caller. Good morning. You're on. Turn on your radio for us, please. Turn on your radio for us.
Good day. I'm calling. I want to say personally, I've experienced this. These officers, they don't have no regard for anybody except their own family. And that coming from somebody who done half handicapped with all type of slip disc just because of mistake pride of officers or however the situation may turn out. They need to do something better. And as far as body cam, they need to have those on at all times. Because they be turning them off. And that's why people don't get to see what is really happening in these places.
Yeah. So what do you think should happen to the officers involved in this matter?
they should get penalized for whatever the situation is.
What should that look like? Should it be training, or do they need to be relieved of duty?
Well, they don't have to be relieved of duty, but I'm saying if you do something and you cost the government money, you know what? Let it come out of their pension. Wow. That's what can happen. And when they come out of their pension, then they can stop doing and treating people the way they treat people, because they know they'll be penalized for it. Let them work for the government and pay off the debt what they put the government in.
Okay. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
All right. Yeah, too many people saying they've had similar situations where they've not been shown the respect that they are due. Disturbing. This person says here, the young lady set a trap and the officers took the bait. Lesson again for officers training. Okay. Police love cameras unless it's used on them. This texter says here, didn't see the full video until just now. When I originally saw this, I saw the brief clip of her using the N-word. I am 100% shocked by this. It's very disturbing. It's very, very, very disturbing. Again, she's got a lot of issues. She needs to get some help. But this was uncalled for. An uncalled for very bad behavior. This person says here, the officer in charge of the station and every officer whose voice is on that video should be fired immediately. Wow. Well, we are going to see what happens. Again, when these things, we're promised investigations all the time. There's so many investigations that we've not heard the conclusion. We've not heard what happened to it, but they hope that we forget. They hope that there's something else that takes our minds off this. But we gotta keep on this one to see what's going on here. A couple more text messages before we go to the break. This person says they got locked up for telling the police officer that he should speak to someone a little more kindly. Wow. And yeah, they told me if I spoke again, I would be locked up. And I said, you can't lock me up for telling you that. And then they locked me up. I was in a rat-infested cell with 3 other people the entire night and didn't get out until the morning. When a lawyer came to get me, I wasn't given a phone call. Instruction on how to get out. They didn't advise you. Yeah. That's rough. That's very rough. Yeah, let's squeeze this call in really quickly. Caller, we got to move on. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Strachan.
Hi, good morning.
I don't know who's the guest.
Just me and you.
All right, the last texter, right? The last text, all right?
Yeah.
Painted a picture of what goes on continually, okay? Now, you listen and then the public listen. Now, the police force has been running a Gestapo for decades, okay? Now, Central Police Station, the last time I was there, which had been decades ago, was like Columbus left it, okay? I wanted to use the bathroom to defecate. Cool Breeze was there at the time, a very, very polite officer. They moved him from there because the people liked him. We call him Cool Breeze. He's obese now, right? But what I'm saying is, when I walked into the bathroom, it was decorated with fecal matter. The urinals had fecal matter all over them.
Wow.
And when you open up the toilet, you know, Dwight, everything turned around in my stomach. So when you get locked up now, basically, it's really, for some reason, your body is trained not to want to defecate, but to urinate. So let me tell you what goes on. I've been in the Grove Station, et cetera, different stations, South Beach Airport. Some officers are more humane than others. But what they would do is they would spite you. And then so this is why, anyone can tell you this, you would have a bunch of Aquapure bottles in the cell where you would have to urinate, and which is very pathogenic because you're putting your penis in the entrance of the bottle, right? I'm just trying to get this narrative about Mr. Monroe. He's just recently in this model. So what he's saying is correct, but you know how much times lawyers have been on the radio and TV saying that they were not allowed to see their clients, etc. What I'm saying, Mr. Strachan, this is the reason now why we need cams. Those situations with the last text, I've encountered those spiteful type behaviors in which officers are not able to give it. They're not held accountable for the injustices that they dispense. So these conversations make no sense when we can continue to allow this model It's like a staff over there running, and it's not going to change. You know, you had a young guy died in the cell at the GO station, no cams, no nothing. I mean, what I'm saying, Mr. Strachan, when nature calls you, why should I have to call someone when nature calls me? These are simple messages I'm sending, you know. You know what I'm saying? The dehumanization won't stop. Now, the young lady was obviously belligerent, and it shows you the height of racism. She is very, very belligerent, but it doesn't give them... Firstly, you know, officers are humans, and I don't really, you know, I'm not going to really put that particular model there, but to deny the use of the bathroom. And then you're telling her not to defecate. And so a family member of mine is mixed up in the same situation at the gas station in which he stopped in front of $100 worth of gas, and the people didn't want to open the door for him to urinate, and it's alleged that they saying he did this and did that, and this made the public eyes and wait. When nature calls you, you know, what I'm saying is the model needs to change, whereby urinals need to be placed in the cells. We're in the dark ages, still reading pages, and people still think that the police is infallible, and they put on... I was coming out of the store the other day, and the inspector was exiting the store, and, you know, the audacity and the boldness in which they display to other members of the public is like they superior, and they have no one to deal with them, and they continue with this model, and it's sickening, you see? Bless up.
Okay, thanks a lot. Some final text messages here. This person says here, this behavior in the police station has been going on for decades now. I've been in these cells before. Some arrested Jonesers and people with mental health issues. They poop and do all manner of things, including bleed in the cells. And on top of that, officers bring you food to eat in these conditions. Wow. Texter says here, minimum 6 months suspension without pay. Wow. Following passing human decency training. Good Lord. Many of these officers need stricter training, not just passing a physical and simple math and English competency test. Some of these officers need regular psychological evaluations. We are getting to the point where the bad officers seem to outnumber the good ones, and we, the public, demand follow-up. 6 months pay with 6 months without pay, suspension without pay. That's might as well get another job after that one, I think. 34-year-old Bahamian here. I was locked up for cursing outside of a police station, threatened my family, threatened my U.S. visa, bruised my arms, took pictures of me. Only when my lawyer showed up did they let me go. Wow. And a text here, I'll say the recording is not the problem, but the fact that she was not allowed to use the bathroom, I'm thinking the station should be outfitted with cameras and we should have documented the event. The recording is a problem. The officer is recording you for sport and just laughing and everyone's jeering you. That's crazy. That's crazy. All of it is a problem. Every single thing in this video is a problem. This woman's behavior, all the officers, everything that was said, the recording, terrible. Just terrible. Yeah. And this final text, we need a thorough investigation for her to be standing there, clearly inebriated. That could have been handled differently. She asked multiple times. We need some sort of training program for these officers. How are we this backward? Oh. One go. We need to hear from the commissioner. We need to hear from the police force how they're going to handle this. And, yeah, these are good points many of you are raising. The training needs to be adjusted for a changing time. We've got a lot of people under the influence of all manner of things. I don't know if it's more than it's been in the past, but by God, the behavior is outrageous. And so you're going to encounter these type of things, and you need to be prepared. But hey, we got to go. You want to do it? Really quick caller, you got about 30 seconds. We got to go to a break.
Good morning and pleasant day.
Hi.
I was trying to avoid calling in, but I just want to say that sometimes, long time ago, I mentioned that our shanty tongue is not necessarily a particular vicinity of Fox Hill or Carmichael Road or so, but in our lockups. But I'm sad about what happened. I also want to know why we have to say the N word. Why, in this day and age, we cannot use other words. It's very sad, and it's supposed to be. It's racist once it's from one person to the other, especially people from that direction, that area. once and for all, hopefully, we will treat ourselves as good as we expect to treat the tourists.
Yeah. Okay. We're not sure if she's a tourist. Not sure what's going on. But whoever she is, I know it's a shock because somebody texted earlier and said this is a common word in the country. But it is offensive to some people still. Black people, white people, all manner of people are still offended by the use of the word. So that's why. But we got to go to a break. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. We're changing gears entirely, talking about your money and investing in it. A great opportunity is about to open up. You don't want to miss this. Stay tuned.
It's time to upgrade the way you enjoy at-home entertainment. Alive Fiber is here. Enjoy all your favorite channels and streaming apps, all at lightning-fast internet speeds with affordable bundles. And www.alivefiber.com to sign up now. Stay connected, live your life. It's good to be alive.
At Cleveland Clinic, care is everything. So when your primary purpose is to care for the world, you'd start with your community until you're accessible anywhere. Make complexities your specialties and put compassion before anything else. All to redefine what's possible. For everyone, everywhere. For every care in the world. Cleveland Clinic.
Nassau Cruise Port, Kalik, and Ricardo Rum presents the Made in the Bahamas Festival. Join us on Saturday, July the 19th from 3 p.m. to 12 a.m. for a cultural affair hosted by Kenny and the Mighty Pencil. Get ready for live performances by Avi, Fan Sean, Ancient Man, and more. Plus music by the best DJs. Enjoy entertainment by the Royal Bahamas Police Force Band, a Junkanoo Rush Out, giveaways, and tasty Bahamian food. Admission is only $10, so don't miss out. Drink responsibly and celebrate proudly.
Don't be left in the dark this hurricane season. Total Services Bahamas, your authorized distributor for Rolco, is ready to install and service a top-quality generator that will power your entire home, keep your lights on, your refrigerator cooling, and your house nice and cozy. When the lights go out, you don't have to. Total Services is here to ensure your comfort and safety this hurricane season and beyond. Complete generator solutions from installation to convenient rentals. Total Services Bahamas, number 98 Thompson Boulevard. Call 323-0400 or 1, or visit the website at totalservicesbahamas.com.
Sherwin-Williams Bahamas doesn't mess about when it comes to product range and product knowledge.
If it's a new product come in the store, we walk the store and study that product.
One thing with our boss, if a new product comes in, he takes the time and he's always keeping us up to date with product knowledge. And we just had 9 weeks of different products that we had to study, and we had exams at the end of each product.
Yeah.
The only way we can sell the product effective, we have to know that product. Yeah, that helps us to relate better knowledge to know what product to introduce to them. You understand? So we can know what product to give them to use and what product not to give them to use. So product knowledge is really key in Sherwin-Williams.
They got the keys. And the key is the product knowledge that comes with our extensive product range at Sherwin-Williams Paints, Bahamas. Find color in every day.
It's time for your final look at weather for today, brought to you by Sherwin-Williams Paints. Here's what's going on. We've got a high-pressure ridge that remains across the islands, promoting mostly fresh to strong breezes throughout the weekend. A thin layer of Saharan dust is going to move into this later today, producing hazy skies. Streaming moisture combined with an mid to upper level trough will support a few isolated showers across the country, and expect a typical summertime weather pattern into early next week. There is a near gale warning, though, for waters near Inagua, and there's a moderate to high risk of rip currents affecting all eastern, southern, and Atlantic beaches. Beachgoers in the central and southeast Bahamas are urged to remain on shore, and beachgoers in the northern and northwest Bahamas should exercise caution. Your forecast for today for most areas: partly sunny, turning fair and warm tonight. Only about a 10 to 20% chance of showers or thunderstorms. High temperatures around 91, 92 Fahrenheit, 33 Celsius, but the heat index will make it feel like it's 101, 102 Fahrenheit, 39 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 79, 80 Fahrenheit, 26 Celsius. In your weekend, Saturday, tomorrow, partly to mostly sunny, turning fair to partly cloudy at night. A mix of sun and clouds by Sunday, partly cloudy for Monday, and rain chances going up to 30 to 40% by Monday. And holding for Tuesday with mostly cloudy to occasionally overcast conditions in the northern and northwest Bahamas, partly cloudy to cloudy in the central and the southeast islands. The tropics are quiet. Tropical cyclone formation unexpected during the next 7 days. That's your Morning Blend weather check, brought to you by Sherwin-Williams Paints. Dulls bringing you down. Well, Sherwin-Williams has the cure. Don't have your place looking toe up. Get that glow up with the superior quality of Sherwin-Williams Paints. And your final look at traffic, brought to you by RBC, with RBC reaching your goals happens here. In real-time traffic, seeing things improve a bit on Milo Butler Highway. Just some slow-moving traffic for you once you get north of Harold Pond, closer to Tawny-Quilmes-Darling Highway. But traffic is backed up along Tawny-Quilmes-Darling Highway westbound towards that roundabout with Milo Butler. Carmichael Road, busy for you eastbound on the way to Blue Hill Road. Traffic backed up quite a bit there, and some building traffic in the area of the junction with Blue Hill and Carmichael, north and southbound, and especially north of Soldier Road. You'll see that slow-moving traffic for you on Blue Hill West Drive. East Street, north and south of the Soldier Road intersection, also busy for you northbound mainly at this hour, and some slow-moving traffic along Wolf Road, westbound mainly, west of Mackey Street and Prince Charles Drive at the major intersections, especially as you head westbound into Robinson Road. Those are your hot spots. That's your real-time traffic and your Morning Blend traffic alert, brought to you by RBC. With RBC, your ideas happen here.
It's been a while now, no jungle, no costumes, no fanfare, nothing to do. We're so excited, happy all day.
We're back with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strong with you. And as we said, we're changing gears now, giving you the very latest on the private equity fund that is opening to the public on Monday coming. If you're a potential, we're very happy to have with us from CFAL, Manager of Corporate Advisory Services, Angela Butler, and Corporate Advisory Analyst, Shania Darville. Good morning. Great to have you with us.
Hey, good morning. Thank you.
Morning.
Okay, so it's two major energy projects that this is involving, right? Let us know what those two are before we get some of the details about what investors need to know.
Okay, so good morning again. As you noted, there are two projects that we've been working with and raising funding for over the last, I would say, 12 months or so. And one of them is EA Energy, which stands for Lutheran Abaco Energy, and that company was awarded the contract by the government to develop, solar and natural gas power plants on both of those islands, and then that company will sell that power to PPL for distribution on those two islands. And the other one is called Island Power Producers, which is putting a natural gas power plant at Arawaki to provide power to the cruise ships while they're docked at the Nassau cruise port. So currently, when they come in, they have to run their engines to keep powered. But once this is in place, the idea is that they will then essentially plug into this power plant, and it would produce cleaner energy than what they're currently burning. So that's the two
Okay.
projects that we're raising funding for today.
Okay, wow. All right, so where do things stand with EA Energy right now? Is it still in the development stages, or has work begun already?
So both companies are the development stages. They've some funding is going, order some of the equipment that will be needed. That would take, 10 to 12 months to be built out. But both projects have started, clearing land, putting in place the infrastructure to put in generators and what's not. So, but both projects won't be completed until the second half of next year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so how much money are they each trying to raise?
So the total total cost for the EA Energy project is $140 million. And we would have been on your show, I think in April, raising some of that funding. But at that time, we were largely targeting pension funds and institutional investors to get some of the initial funding, like I said, to get the projects off the ground. Now, at this time, we're offering 10 million worth of shares to the retail public for both projects.
For both. Okay, 10 million each, or 10 million in total?
Targeting 20 million in total.
Okay, great. And how much is Island Power? How much is their project?
So that project, based on everything right now, is about 180 million. And we would have, similarly, like I mentioned, went out to the institutional investors at the earliest stage and raised about 60 million so far of that. So we will do some additional fundraising for that later in the year as well.
All right, so with the initial, you raised 60 million for Island Power. What about for EA?
Well, for EA, we did the bond that was 100 million and about 15 million in institutional equity. And so this 10 million would take it to 125 million, of that 140 being funded, with the founders to inject the rest of the capital.
Okay, all right. So you would say that the initial funding push was a success.
Yes.
Okay.
And the 15 was kind of what the target was, because we did say we wanted to reserve some of it to be able to do these offerings now to the general public.
Right. Okay, so now it's the general public's time. What do you recommend to potential investors who are hearing this? What are some of the key things they need to keep in mind?
If you go on our website, we have what's called an offering memorandum. It's an extensive document that speaks to the fund, what the fund is, who manages the fund, the directors, and it also provides information on both projects, who the leaders of the company are, the directors, information about the project, exactly what the money is being spent on, or both projects, right? And I think it's important for persons to read that and to understand the risk involved in both projects, because you're investing in equity, and equity depends on how the business itself does. So, we've put all that information together for persons to be able to read and get a clear understanding of what they're investing in before making that decision.
Mm-hmm. And the minimum investment is, give us that number.
$1,000 in each company.
In each. Right. And you
They
have to.
have the option to invest in both, or they can invest just in one.
Okay. But if you do both, it would be minimum 2,000.
Right.
Right. All right. So Angela mentioned risk. Let's talk about that. Who is this right for? Who is this not right for? And what are some of those other risks that people need to keep in mind?
So It's at the end of the day, it's business. There's ups, there's downs. You're investing in equity, so nothing is necessarily guaranteed. Distribution of profits will depend on how profitable the companies are. So, we do have, or from time to time, do fixed income investments, right? So older persons or persons looking for more stable income would more so be attracted or interested in fixed income investments, right? But this is, we tend to encourage younger persons who have, more time, a longer horizon to, take a bit more risk because, if it does well, if it does as it's intended, then your, returns could be pretty attractive. But, persons also tend to make these investments and put their kids as beneficiaries, something for the long term. So, we believe they're good investments in infrastructure, things like energy. We'll always need energy. The family islands will always need power, the cruise ships. And we've seen even with COVID, they've come back, so we kind of know it's a strong and stable business and it's a good opportunity for persons to kind of participate in the economy and get some benefit from, these projects.
What is the offering window, or what are we looking at?
July 21st until July 29th.
So that is next week,
Yes.
and it's not many days. So just a little over a week.
Yeah. Well, we tried, and I think as we would have mentioned, we would have provided some notice to the public about a month ago. We tried to put out sufficient notice so persons could have gotten prepared. And
Actually, when you were on the show a few months ago, you told people that this would happen in the summer, likely, right?
yes, and then once we got all the approvals and we had an idea of the date, we instantly put that out so persons could have made advanced preparation. And so, the registration process should not take more than 5-10 minutes. Everything can be done online. Once you have, business license, proof of address, and of course you have to transfer the funds to us, or if you work for the civil service, you have the option to pay for it over a 10-month period. So we try to make it, as accessible as possible.
Let's talk more about that, because if you don't have all the whole 1,000 or 2,000 right now, but you want to invest, you mentioned some terms. Is it only for the civil service?
Yes. They have the option to pay over a 10-month period. So starting in August, and then that will continue until May 2026. But yes, that's only for civil servants.
And anybody else who, or what would you recommend to them if they have some of it but not all of it?
That's a difficult one. We, anytime we've done these offerings, the standard thing that we have done is allowed the civil servants to take advantage of that. So unfortunately, if you don't work within the civil service, you would have to pay for the subscription in full.
Yeah. Okay. So we're already getting a lot of text messages, people asking about returns, dividends. When can they expect that? What can you tell us about that?
Very good question. So like I mentioned, both of these projects won't be completed until the second half of next year. And so, while they're building out, they won't be generating any revenues or profit. So the first dividend likely won't be paid for about 2 years, I would say. It's in the second half of 2027. So it isn't a get rich quick overnight thing. And just as we did when we did the cruise port, right? The cruise port did not pay dividends for about 3 years, while it was being constructed, and what's not so sorry.
Yeah.
So yes, but the expected returns, we expect that these projects would be able to pay a dividend rate of around 10% per year once they're fully up and running. But like I mentioned, when it's equity, it could be 20%, it could be 30%, but it could also be zero, right? If it's not a good year, or there are issues or any challenges, then some years you may not get a dividend.
Yeah. What is the max? Is there a max that someone can invest?
No maximum.
Oh, okay. No max.
So you could bring your $5 million.
But
we will say
I'll consider
the allocation process will be bottoms up, and that just simply means that everyone will get their first 1,000. their second thousand. So we've made sure that no, single investor can come in and, take up the whole 10 million, and then, the individuals subscribing for 2,000, 5,000, 10,000 are pushed out of the way.
Right.
So this is largely targeted towards retail investors. And again, if you submit an application and it's over, let's say someone did put in for $1 million and they can only get 100,000, then we would refund the excess to them at the end.
Mm-hmm. How does this work? Do you normally have an idea how interested investors will be? Are there estimates? Do you know, or can you guess?
We based on previous offerings, like the cruise port was 25 million, and we got about 30 million in subscriptions for that. So we did have to refund some funds for that. You could look at the container port, our port development. That I think they were targeting 10 million, and they got like 30 million. So, but you never know until the offerings are open. We get a lot of interest and inquiries, but it's kind of a wait and see, and typically. The first couple of days are quiet, and then, the last 3-4 days, it's kind of this mad rush. So,
Yeah.
we targeting 20, we may get more, we may get less, but, it's just to provide the opportunity.
Right. We're talking with Angela Butler and Shania Darville with CFAL, getting information on the private equity funds for two energy projects that will launch next week. Text us 422-4796. Tweet us or Facebook us any of your questions. You might be able to get some calls in very quickly, but we're getting more details on this. Okay, so let's give everyone the websites again where they can get more information on the companies and how investing in them will work.
Okay, so they can visit CFAL's website, cfal.com/offerings. On there, we have, like Angelo mentioned, the complete offering memorandum. We also have the application instructions, what it is that you would need and where do you go to apply, as well as we have like a step-by-step guide that takes persons step-by-step through the process of doing the online application. And that offering memorandum that I mentioned also includes like an overview of the company, their financial projections, who's behind the project. All of that information is there for interested persons to review, take a look at. And as well, for those, like I said, who are doing the salary deduction and civil servants, we have those forms on there as well that they can take to their different payroll departments to get approved. So all of that information is already on our website. So they're able to review over the weekend before the offering opens on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
And our website again is cfal.com/offerings.
Right. Online, right?
Yes.
You can't go to CFAL and do this in person.
Right. If you need assistance, we're here. You can give us a call, 502-7010. But we are encouraging everyone to do the applications online.
Mm-hmm. All right. And if you just aren't internet savvy, what can you do? If you can't transfer the money, but you have it, what exactly should you do?
So we don't accept cash or credit cards at our office. So the only way to make the payment is via wire transfer. But like mentioned, we do have an office if persons need assistance. We're open from 8:30 to 4, Monday through Friday. So again, if persons need assistance, they are free to come in the office, but the funding has to be wired to the account, and a part of the registering proof of that transfer. So that needs to be done prior to trying to submit the application, and the banking information is located in the subscription instructions that are on the website.
Right. All right. So this is an interesting text here. Is there a penalty if I want to withdraw my money prematurely?
And all of this is in the offering memorandum as well. And there is a restriction of 6 months where persons won't be able to transfer, and there's a restriction on being able to sell the shares for a period of 1 year. However, after that period, if you need to come in, you can come into CFAL and say, hey, I wish to sell my shares, and we will do, find someone to purchase those shares from you.
Mm-hmm. And another question, will there be an opportunity in the future to purchase shares if you miss out on this offering? And any chance that the minimum would be less than 1,000.
No, 1,000 is the minimum, and typically once we do these offerings, all the shares are sold one time, right? And I think we've seen, for example, with the cruise port, we get inquiries every day about persons trying to buy those shares, and unless someone sells the shares, then we don't have any shares that we can sell to the public. So these tend to be one-time things, and then you have to join a list and wait for someone to come in and sell. And if a project is successful, no one is really going to be selling
Right.
their shares, right? So I would say these will likely not be available specifically to these two projects. Of course, as we do other projects in the future, those opportunities will come up just like this.
Right. This is an interesting question. This might be in what you're offering. They're asking if these cruise ships will be mandated to use this power supply, or will they still have the option to use their own power?
Yeah, I don't want to tie the government's hand in any way or commit them to anything, but I think this project the RFP was put out by the government because they wanted the power to be there, or to be in place. So that's why we're developing the project. So the expectation is that once the power is there, that they will have to plug into the because a part of the government's whole climate push and reducing emissions is trying to cut emissions from the cruise ship, which are pretty big, I guess, in this region because they're so active. So we do expect that once it's available in there, then it will be mandated that they will have to plug in.
Right. All right. So somebody's asking, they missed it, but your risk and return on investment, what people can expect. Can you just say it one more time for folks who are just joining us?
Yeah, we have an extensive section of risk. There's risk in terms of the fund as well as the specific risks aligned with each project. And again, we encourage persons to read those. With projects, there's risks, for example, like pandemics, hurricanes, business risk. So all of that is kind of mentioned in the document. I would encourage persons to read it. Again, you're investing in equity, and that comes with the risks of business, right?
Mm-hmm. And it could be a couple of years before there are dividends.
Correct. For sure.
Right.
We don't expect to pay dividends for at least 2 years.
Right. Go ahead. So, Shania, one more time, if you let people know the website and where they can get more information before this opens on Monday.
Sure. The website is cfile.com/offerings. Or if they'd like to discuss further with someone, they can give us a call at 502-7010, or they can send us an email at pefund, that's FUND, at cfile.com.
Okay. All right. Very exciting. And Angelo, any words to people out there who are on the fence? They might have the funds, but they're like never invested before. What advice, both of you can answer this, what advice would you give to novice investors out there?
I think it's primarily important, firstly, to understand, and before you make any investment, understand what you're investing in, who you're investing with. So if you've never read up on CFAL, I would say do some research, see, some of our history. We've, funded a lot of these projects, so we're confident that, these are sustainable projects and projects that will do well. But nonetheless, persons should be familiar with what they're investing in and comfortable when putting their funds, right? Because there is risk, there's the potential for loss, there's the, no matter how much due diligence we do, there could be risk involved. And so, read the document. It is a bit long. I will be honest. It's about 80 pages of information.
Okay.
But, take this weekend and read through it. And, if you find yourself comfortable or if you have questions, you could ask us the questions and perhaps we could, answer them. And then from that point, you have enough information to decide, okay, maybe I prefer this one, or maybe I'll do both. Maybe I won't do any. And, that's fine. Not every project is for everyone, but get the information and then use that information to make your decision. We will, persons can take their time. Again, this is Todd is going to come in on Monday and take all of the shares. So no need to rush. You take your time. It's open until the 29th, and we again encourage persons to consider it, and if it fits, then make the investment.
Okay. All right. And again, cfal.com/offerings is that website. Shania Darville, and Angelo Butler. Thank you both for being here this morning. A very exciting time, and good luck to everybody out there who will be investing in this. Thank you for sharing the information with us this morning.
All right. Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to take a break for news and be back with business. Well, more business, because that was business too, right? In just a bit. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
No one likes a fender bender.
Oh, man.
From a little scratch to a full mashup, NUA Insurance has got you covered with auto insurance tailored to fit your needs and budget. For affordable rates with free on-site accident assistance, visit us online or in branch. And just NUA Insurance. Ask us because we've got you covered.
Early to get your uniforms and get Janae's Uniform Center's buy 4, get 1 free sale. Pre-monogrammed and regular school shirts, dry fit and cotton polos, jumpers, skirts, boys' long and short pants, PE shorts, underclothes, tights, socks, neckties, belts, sleeping mats, hair accessories, and character work desk. Get 50% off backpacks, lunch bags, and raincoats. Buy 4 school shirts, get 1 free. Buy 2 skirts, jumpers, or pants, get the third 50% off. Need embroidery and monogramming done? Visit Janae's Uniform Center early. Beat the back-to-school rush. Janae's Chesapeake Road back-to-school special. Restrictions apply.
Tell them.
Is your business ready for the next big step? More inventory, new equipment, a larger space? At Fidelity, we offer commercial loans tailored to suit your business's needs. Inquire today. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
Of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Southwest Plaza has so many stores, I've been trying to find a sensible way to list them all. There's CBS Bahamas, the Ashai Institute, BENC Snack World, Bamboo Shack Bahamas, there, the Athlete's Foot, and BTC, Games and More, John Bull Fine Threads, Alive, Bahari, Dairy Queen, 700 Wines and Spirits, Sandy's, Clarkson, Island Luck, Starbucks, and Lowe's Pharmacy, plus Marco's Pizza and Lorraine. Southwest Plaza, what a wide array of stores. Southwest Plaza, stop by today and explore.
As a healthcare professional, you dedicate your life to caring for others. But even with the best care, legal challenges can arise. Protect your practice and your peace of malpractice insurance from Star General. At Star General, we've partnered with Lloyd's of London to bring you comprehensive professional liability insurance designed specifically for those consulting or practicing privately. Visit our website today so you can focus on what you do best, caring for your patients, while we take care of the rest. Star General, insurance made simple.
Wendy's and Coca-Cola is giving away up to $25,000 of hot cash this summer. To enter, upgrade any premium combo from 1 through 12 to a medium or a large for your chance to win the grand prize of $10,000. Don't miss your chance to win big this summer. Visit your neighborhood Wendy's, upgrade your favorite lunch combo, and win hot cash. Rules and restrictions apply.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Friday, July 18th, 2025. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan, and this morning we want to talk about SAW and all of New Providence and development projects and what the future should look like. We do this quite often because I think most of us recognize there's a desperate need for planning and new development for some areas that are very, very challenged at the moment. So this is this conversation is coming about as a result of some statements from the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism, Chester Cooper, a few days ago. Our own Chester Robards wrote about this on July 15th. So the government is courting investors in an effort to find developers for sites identified in Cable Beach and downtown Nassau, according to Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, Chester Cooper. He told reporters on the sidelines of CANTO, the Caribbean Association of National Telecommunication Organizations, 40th Annual Conference and Trade Expo. Cooper said that he could not reveal the details regarding those matters. During his contribution to the 2025-2026 budget debate, Cooper hinted about possible investors involved in the creation of entertainment sites downtown, but also did not go into details on those conversations. So, Cooper said, quote, "I will say that LPIA, Linden Pinling International Airport, has issued an RFP, request for proposals, for a new hotel at LPIA. We're positive about that. We've identified a few sites downtown and one in Cable Beach where we are courting investors. We are on a massive push to do some spectacular things downtown through the downtown." Cooper explained that while stopover visitor numbers, tourism visitor numbers, are still not as strong as last year, cruise numbers continue to reach record levels. He said there is an impetus to get cruise lines to increase the time they call on Nassau or to overnight as they used to, in an effort to make the most of the millions of cruise passengers who visit Nassau annually. We'll get back to that because that's an interesting thing to say. He says, quote, "I think as a combination of all these things, we're seeking to build a product and an economy that's sustainable, that lasts and stands the test of time. And it's not just one thing or two things that we can do, but all of these things have to work together collectively to ensure the strength and sustainability and ultimately the diversity of our offering." Cooper said global uncertainty has caused a slowdown in travel, especially from this country's key source market, the U.S. And he said, quote, "There are some geopolitical issues that are impacting air arrivals to the Bahamas, so we are strategizing. We've been to Canada. We're expanding that market. We've spoken with our stakeholders during some summer, and we're seeing very strong fourth quarter and a very strong first quarter of 2026. We had up to a month ago 26 flights out of Canada per week. As a result of our interventions, we're now up to 36 flights a week. So that's encouraging there. But let's get back to the revitalization project, the downtown revitalization project, and the entertainment sites for downtown and conversations with investors. Let's try to find out more about what that means. So we're searching the downtown revitalization project. If you go on bahamas.gov.bs, for some reason, it is getting a forbidden code. Can't get into that. I know we've talked about this before, but I don't know why we can't see it anymore. But AI, through the magic of AI has a summary of it, and I guess this is based on what was there that we can't see right now. But I'll read this for you. The Downtown Nassau Revitalization Project is a multifaceted initiative focused on physically and economically renewing the historic downtown area of Nassau, Bahamas. It encompasses various aspects, including addressing flooding issues, enhancing streetscapes, promoting cultural attractions, and fostering a more vibrant and welcoming atmosphere for both locals and tourists. So these are the key elements. 1, addressing the flooding. The project includes immediate measures to clear blockages in the drainage system, particularly on Dowswell Street, School Lane, Victoria Avenue, and East Bay Street. Long-term solutions are being explored in collaboration with experts to address the root causes of flooding. system will undergo regular quarterly cleanings to prevent future flooding. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff that's been happening, but I don't know if the flooding has been addressed as yet. How was it? Right? Last week was pretty heavy rain. Still having issues, right? So I guess we have a ways to go with that one. Part 2 is enhancing streetscapes. The first phase of the project involves streetscape improvements on Bay Street, a major thoroughfare. And this aims to create a more attractive and pedestrian-friendly environment. Okay. 3, cultural and artistic initiatives. The Downtown Mural Project, well, this one definitely has happened. A collaboration with the University of the Bahamas encourages artists to create murals in the area, adding to the cultural vibrancy. Artists are invited to submit proposals for mural designs, showcasing their creativity and contributing to the city's artistic landscape. 4, economic revitalization. The overall goal is to revitalize the downtown area, making it a thriving hub for businesses, residents, and visitors. The project aims to restore the sense of community and the unique behavior experience that once characterized the downtown area. Efforts are underway to create a more inclusive and welcoming environment for both locals and tourists. Okay, well, that part seems to be the least explored portion of all of this. I don't think we've made much progress in that way at all, but we could be wrong. Everything's being held closely to the chest, it seems. And number 5, collaborative approach to the Downtown Revitalization Project. It's led by the Ministry of Tourism, Investments and Aviation in partnership with other government agencies like Public Works and Water and Sewage Corporation. The project also involves collaboration with the University of the Bahamas and other stakeholders. The project seeks to breathe new life into the historic heart of the city by addressing practical issues, celebrating its cultural heritage, and fostering a more vibrant and engaging atmosphere. All right, so we're hearing that they've received proposals already, and we don't know who they're from. Are they from local groups? What is the overall plan? Are we waiting for the investors to tell us what is planned, or are we saying, I mean, what we read there is very general, but are we saying specifically what we want, and what do you have that can fit into our plan? Which one? What would you like to see? That's what we're doing this morning. How would you want us to approach this revitalization, and what would you want to be a part of it? And who needs to be a part of it? Let's hear from you. 323-623-325-4316. 325-4259. Call us toll free, 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. It's been so many things holding this back, right? People are saying the flooding east of East Street is so terrible, nobody wants to invest anything down there until that's addressed. And that seems to be taking quite a while. We don't have a plan yet on how this is going to work in terms of the road, in terms of the buildings, what they're going to look like. Are we using the existing buildings? Do they need to be knocked down? How high can you build? So many unanswered questions. Do we have an outline? Are we going to do districts? What are we doing here? Should it be tourism that spearheads this? I know it's tourism investments and aviation, and investment sounds good. But exactly what should this look like? Let's hear from you. Again, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. We know we need to get people living downtown again in good numbers for it to be a thriving city where cruise ships would like to stay overnight so that it doesn't look like a ghost town after 6 o'clock, which it does now, many nights, even weekends. What are we doing about that? And who will be able to afford to live downtown if we continue to go in that direction? Are some of the elements that make a thriving downtown going to be a part of this, like a market? In almost every major city, there's a market of some kind, not a straw market, a market where you can buy food and things that people need every day. Is that going to be a part of this? Are we factoring that in? Caller, what say you on this? Good morning.
Good morning, Dwight.
Hi.
Good morning to you. Do you have a co-host this morning?
It's just you and me to this. I'm glad to hear your voice.
Dwight, you know, definition for insanity is you keep doing the same thing, expecting different results. How long have we been talking about this downtown revitalization project?
Too long.
Right. Unless private sector investors are incentivized to invest in the tourism product, we're going to be right here 50 years from now.
Wow.
Back in the day that I'm aware of, you're too young to remember, in the 50s and 60s and the 70s, we had over 60 nightclubs operating successfully on New Providence alone.
My goodness.
Owned and operated by Bahamians.
Mm-hmm.
We have to incentivize private sector people to invest in the tourism product, which is to move people from space to face to have a Bahamian experience. Downtown is not the answer. We invested billions of dollars in this new port. All of the people are designed to stay on the port. The cab drivers are suffering. Straw vendors are suffering. Entertainers are suffering because they have a cartel. We must develop the Bahamas, man, not for a select few and special interests. And so, until the government see the wisdom in incentivizing private sector tourism products, we're going to be right here 50 years from now saying the same thing.
Yeah, I want to explore
you and me.
What you just
This
said,
is
though.
you and me this morning.
Mm-hmm.
What about Clifton? That beautiful development in Clifton. What about that? What about Gambia? What about Fox Hill? What about these historic areas that we could do? What about Baintown? 10 minutes walk away. Develop those interests in those respective areas. You go all over the world. I just came back from Europe. You go and you have an experience, Dwight.
Yeah.
The government was supposed to revitalize and restore the House of Labor, which would have been an attraction for visitors to come to because of what we were going to create, a museum. We are just talking, Dwight. We have to stop the talk and walk the walk. The Ministry of Tourism is lost. They don't know what they're doing in terms of creating an experience for Bahamians. All they're talking about is giving incentives to Royal Caribbean cruise lines, Atlantis, and Bahamas. What are they doing for the Bahamas? They opened a new nightclub in Bahamas the other day. You know what it's called? John Baptiste Jazz Club. And they're using iconic figures like Freddie Munnings and Cat and Phil Baptiste. It's sacrilegious.
Well, I hear you. I hear you. And I think this, I've been saying this for a while. It goes back to true local government. If we had the island, if we speak about New Providence divided into different communities, you'd be shocked what could happen. Yes, if they are empowered to develop town centers for all of these districts. And this would definitely accomplish what you're talking about.
I support that, Dwight.
Diversify what we're offering.
They're concentrating on giving Carnival Cruise Line or whatever that cruise line is, Royal Caribbean Cruise Line, more space on Paradise Island to take the people away. What's happening to the cab drivers? What's happening to the entertainers? They're not hiring us.
Okay. Very interesting. Call back if you feel you hear something that jumps out at you, Freddie. I appreciate the call. Continue to call in 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Are you interested in living downtown? And what do you think about, again, diversifying our offerings so it can't just be downtown, but we know downtown desperately needs something. My God. Right? So what are we going to do? What needs to happen? Caller, what say you?
Well, good morning, Dwight. How are you doing?
Doing well. Good morning.
Let's look at the possibility of the future Bahamas. Tourists will come off the boat. A large percentage don't, but the tourists that do come off the boat will shop in a lovely, safe port. They'll take a little tender to a beach where they may have food and beverage, maybe similar to that, whatever, where it's safe. You sell stuff with safety. What will happen to Bay Street? 2017, I went on a radio show with the former Minister of Tourism, Mr. Welshcombe, and we discussed why not taking and putting a tax or a fee on the cruise ship industry and fixing our Montague straight down under the bridge, all the way downtown to Chippingham, to the fish fry, to look like Marina Village on Paradise Island. So the people would have to come off and mingle and shop with us. Well, that model didn't happen, and I rudely rejected it. So did Miss Glenna Hannah Martin, representative, and a few other people. So now it's coming to fruition.
You say,
why do I need a taxi?
You rejected it, or it was rejected?
Did what we're about to do at our Bay Street, building a new set of shops around the boat instead of enhancing our product.
Right. Okay.
Still against it, but hey, you know what? Let's see how it boils out. I'll call you later.
Well, I mean, don't go yet.
Yep.
I mean, they had said
Yeah.
that was supposed to be one of the impetus to redevelop. They were hoping that was going to jumpstart the redevelopment of downtown. It hasn't quite happened as yet.
I love that. Let's look at hope. They hoped it would. Hope is depression in its finest form.
Right.
You'll live in hope and die in despair.
Yeah.
We didn't fix the Bahamas. So the cruise industry built a brand new shiny set of city shops, I call it, around their boat. And they put a beach. And let me tell you, when we have those swells that come in, you know the swells that put the boulders down there by the fish fry and the sand? What did we just do to the environment on Paradise Island? That was a buffer to protect us. Huh. Any other questions? Because I really got to go.
Hey.
Good show, though.
Thanks a lot. Well, I mean, I don't think you can fault the cruise lines for doing what they feel they have to do. What is our problem? What's our excuse? You mentioned the boardwalk. We've been talking about that for a very long time. It never got off the ground. I don't think it was ever supposed to go all the way to Montague, but that would have been nice. Sure. But I think it was, the bridge? Sidney Poitier Bridge from Potterski, at least, straight up to the British Colonial. What has happened? No, we don't know. We don't know anything. What are we doing? We know they have to fix the flooding issue, and perhaps that's delaying it, but is it still on the table at all? What is the deal? We'll get to the calls in just a bit. Let's read some messages here. This person says here, we definitely need the new Chamber of Commerce at the table and perhaps leading the charge. I agree with Freddie about the push of the private sector, which I believe the new chamber regime can champion. Very impressed so far. Okay. Doesn't your own Scrooge Brown have a whole plan for Bay and Grantstown? Is that even being looked at by the government? As one caller said, it's only 10 minutes away. Yeah. This texter says here, live music is what's needed, I guess you're saying, and the Bahamian people are very vital to the tourism industry in the Bahamas. Musicians performing live is an experience itself. I'll have much more to say on this, God willing. Yeah, well, for us too, we got to think about us, and probably us first. That is what you find in the most successful downtown areas anywhere in the world, right? It's not just tourist focused, and that's what we've been doing for at least 20 to 30 years, and that's why hardly anybody goes down there anymore, unless they're driving through. If it's about us, the tourists will come if they feel comfortable and safe, yeah. But it's not about us. We are the afterthoughts of the people who are doing anything. Often, not always, but often. And that's a huge problem. Like I said earlier, almost every city has a major market. But we are working hard to keep those things off Bay Street. Why are we doing that? What is that about? Make it make sense. Caller, you're on the air.
Yes, Dwight, how you doing? It's Alan Johnson.
Hi.
Yes, let me first tell Graham we shouldn't misrepresent the dead because they can't defend themselves. Mr. Obadiah Wishcombe. But when you talk about what is needed for the Bahamas, the singular things where everybody has a particular idea, music, hotel, or a club, what do you call it, a walkway. It should be noted, though, Dwight. Are you familiar with South Beach?
You mean in Florida?
Yeah.
Yes. Uh-huh.
You should try to find, I can't remember the version, there's an Ocean Drive magazine that gave credit to the architects of South Beach, and it was simply a dump with derelicts and drug addicts and everything.
Yeah.
And you'll be surprised to find 3 Bahamian names. Anthony, what's Anthony's name? Cornelius Johnson, which is C. Allen Johnson, and Uncle Luke, Luther Campbell, were given credit for reviving South Beach. And the point is that, but let's jump forward to the future. What we have is not singularly a Bay Street problem. We have a destination. We have a destination problem.
Yeah.
So, we hear people talk about this orange economy.
Well, Bay Street is a symptom of the problem, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because it's across. Say, for instance, and this is why for 20 plus years our visitors have not grown. But all one has to do is look at a cruise ship, it's the destination, and look what they are eating when they come to the Bahamas, an extension of that destination. And so that is what essentially we have to compete with. But you don't have to compete with the same thing.
Yeah.
Similar is not the same. Right?
Yeah, no, I agree with you totally.
Right.
Totally
so,
agree.
So what happens is we have to find, and this is where data comes in, and because no longer, at one time we used to provide sun, sand, sea, and service. Right now, based on the 2009 survey continuing up to date, we only provide sun, sand, sea, which has been able to be duplicated across the Caribbean. And so we have to add service and some other things. And so when you talk about Bay Street, let's talk about that symptom. I mean, that is an easy design, starting from the top of the hill, coming down, be able to preserve the view of the sea. And yes, you can have homes and businesses and combinations of offices with an entertainment type thing where it becomes where Nassau, a place we call whole island Nassau, but the city of Nassau becomes its own entity, and local government would provide that. But throughout the Bahamas and the entire Bahamas and New Providence as an island within itself, there has to be pockets of reasons to come to experience the Bahamas.
Yeah.
And so what it is that we have to look at the thing holistically by looking at best practices around the world. But the most important thing is what is it that we have that is unique or can be experienced only in the Bahamas.
Yeah. And what we're talking about is needed in Freeport or Lugaya as well, right? And every island.
But every island itself, like we say, we should have 26 destinations within 26 destination experience within the Bahamas. And this is because, remember now, data has shown us that 11 million stopover visitors is equivalent to 11 million cruise visitors 10 million cruise visitors is equivalent to 450,000 stopover visitors.
Yeah.
And so what it is that when we begin to treat each area, like you say, segment it into each area and look for the strength. This is part of the orange economy, right? But it's also part of this finance economy. And when we talk about this, and we always say to foreigners, the problem Bahamians have is access to capital. But technology has now eliminated that. You've heard me talk about tokenization and everything else. Not just crypto. We're talking about the things like what Donald Trump just did in relations to passing the Genius, and I can't remember the name of the other bill. But these are things that we have to begin to look at and begin to say, what is it that we can do? But it requires us to move to some of our brighter minds rather than asking the same people on the same committees, the same questions, and getting the same answers.
Thanks a lot,
So,
Seattle.
you have to do.
A lot of calls coming in. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. This texter says, "Call. Give me a second. I'll come to you in a second." This person says here, when that beach club opens, it'll be the death of the industry. Government should never have allowed that. Texter, I think you're absolutely wrong. I think you're very, very wrong. As C. Allen just said, you counter that. Not everybody's going to want to go to the beach. You've got to have... They need to know that there are so many other things that you can see and taste in the Bahamas. We've not tapped into the food. We have Chef Simeon Hall on all the time telling you that there is so much potential Where can you get real Bahamian food downtown? It's very difficult. You might be able to do something at the Fry. But we have a blank canvas with east of East Street. So many opportunities. And everybody come off that ship to say, you need to go to that restaurant. There's a whole stretch of restaurants in Nassau, east of East Street, heading down towards the bridge or whatever. You won't believe it. It'll blow your mind. Nobody can say that now. And so they say, well, what's there to do here? Let's get some drinks and then go to the beach. Because that's what we've done. We've done it. And you can't, again, hold the cruise ships. You can't try to do something while they're stuck here for so many hours a day. And that's how it feels to them, I'm sure. They're stuck here because what is there to do? You all don't even go downtown. You don't want to do it. So why should they be there? We are blowing it. We're blowing it. The government says they're looking, but again, we need to know more. And do we need to present them with the plan? This is what we want. From here to here, we think this should be the type of area this is zoned for this. And then from here to there, something else. Is it up to us, or should we wait for them and God knows who they're talking to? What say you, caller? You're on the air. Are you there? Good morning. Hi, caller. Good morning. Hi, I can hear you. Nope, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259, toll free 242-300-5720. Good morning.
Hey, Dwight, sorry to call back. I had to ask, during COVID, we found out that Abaco was one-third dollars that stayed in the country. How'd they do it without a big cruise ship and a big boat?
Yeah.
See, these are the questions we need to really sit down with. You know how they did it? In Abaco, my family's from Grand Bahama, Abaco, and Eleuthera, we owned the bed, the sheet, the pillow. We owned the shower. We owned the knife, the spoon, the fork, the pot, the pan, the plate. We own, if you want to go snorkeling, if you want to go and see something over there, you got to go with us. Mm-hmm. Mix and mingle. People to people. Remember Mr. Pinland? Mm-hmm. We just blew away Bahamianization and people to people. So when we disconnected, an industry slid in. Yeah. And we can't blame them. You know, Patrick Ramming asked me, what's the difference between a hotel and a resort? We need many hotels. Mr. Wilshcombe told me on live radio, and it's all documented, so I'm misrepresenting anybody. He said we need another 6,000 hotel rooms. And I say we do, but we don't need one more resort. See, in the hotel, you got to get a cab to get to the restaurant, to go to the straw market, to do whatever lovely events you are going to create. When my mother came here in 1958, she had to get off the boat. They shut it down. You don't eat on the boat. And she had to walk and go through Nassau and go to the nightlife where Bahamians walked her back to the boat to make sure she got home safe.
Yeah.
What have we changed? Do we need to go back to the future? See, if we build a product that's so super, not for the tourists, but even us, voice, what would I like to do different around here?
Yeah.
And put that think tank together.
Absolutely.
But back to Abaco and Bimini.
But I want you to say it one more time, though, about the hotel, the difference between the hotel and the resort.
Oh, sorry.
And he said, Pat Ramming said it, and he's a genius. But that is a very big thing. We don't need one other resort in New Providence. Not one.
Because what happens in a resort is everything is there for me right down to the sun. But in a hotel, remember Holiday Inn on Paradise Island? You had to come out of there if you wanted to. It was one restaurant. You wanted anything else, you come to Nassau. And we used to take a glass-bottom boat to come downtown to buy a straw bag. See how that passes money around? But we seem to have been, our tourism product in the capital has been hijacked. But in Abaco and Bimini, they don't want that big hotel.
Yeah.
No, thank you. Yeah. So we need to take, and what amazes me is people left Bimini and Abaco to come work here in a big resort. When in the island, they owned, and when I say own the economy and own the land, you don't have to own a big hotel like we see around here. You get 4 rooms making you $150 a night, Dwight. You be okay.
Yeah.
So we need to rethink the Bahamas.
Absolutely.
And fix it. Have a good one.
So
Thanks for taking the call.
Appreciate it. Yeah. See, Alan mentioned South Beach. If you notice, it's much smaller boutique-type hotels, right? And people are encouraged to get out. There might be a small restaurant downstairs, but you're going to want to leave and explore. explore the area. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning. How are you today?
Doing well.
Yeah, so Graham was talking about different products, which I do understand. The thing that the Bahamas has to start doing, though, is we need to start looking at who puts together deals for the betterment of our country, because I see a lot of these things that come up, and I think that sometimes I wonder if between the politics structure of these deals, are they taking in the best interest of the Bahamian people? I'll give you an example. I went on a cruise a few weeks ago. So I had paid my family had paid for the drink package, which means all your drinks are included. So we got on the boat in Seattle along with the 1,800 other people. And it was funny because we went to get our drink as we're waiting, to get into your room. So everyone's having a drink. And the bartender said, I want to let you know, because we're in port, the taxes on these drinks are going to be $7. Wow. And I said, the taxes? I said, well, I thought the drink package was included. Yes, but not in port. So every passenger that's on that boat while these boats were in port, the city of Seattle was taxing those people so they get their piece of the pie. So I ask myself all the time, when you put together deals there's nothing wrong with foreign direct investment, but we have to be very smart about how we get our piece of the pie. That's one avenue of revenue, because the problem in the Bahamas is we need to start tapping into the market so that we as Bahamians, we benefit. So let me give you another example, which I don't understand for the life of me as a businessman, why the Bahamas does not tap into capital gains. You understand capital gains globally, correct?
Right.
So a lot of Bahamians don't understand capital gains because we don't pay them. But for example, think about this for a second, an American that lives in the Bahamas, right? They buy a home. Let's say they buy a home in Sandy Port for $1 million 5 years ago. They sell that home 5 years later, and current market conditions for $1.5 million. There's $500,000 of gains on that particular piece of property. Now, we as a government, we don't take any of that. But guess what? Because we don't take it, the American government takes it. So the American government says, okay, you made $500,000. We want 40% of that. So the 40%, the gain of that property, that is money that we should be putting in our pocket, but we allow it to leave the country. So you've made all this money, and you now give it to your government. So these are little things that could be addressed in our country and make massive differences. It's not going to scare off foreign direct investment. It's not going to scare off buyers, because you're only paying on a gain. If you bought a place for $1 million and you sell it for $1 million, there's no gains. If you sell it for $900,000, there's no gains. But I am in the industry where I see homes that sell for $3 million and then 2 years later sell for $7 million. Or Albany, for example, I've seen a home sell for $9 million. Wow. Then that same home sell for $20 million. That same home sells for $40 million, and we don't get any of that money. Think about that for a second.
Interesting. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Let's see if we can squeeze these calls in really quickly, running out of time. Want to hear more of your ideas for redeveloping downtown Nassau and other parts of the Bahamas as well. Caller, would say you. Are you there? Hi, good morning.
Hello, good morning. I would like to join the show, please.
Yes, you're on live. Turn on your radio for us, please.
Okay, thanks. I'll turn down my radio.
Okay. So what do you have to say?
Hello?
Hi, yes. We're listening to you.
Oh, sorry. Good morning. Yes, there are a couple of things, like basic things I think we need done, like local government for New Providence, smart voters cards instead of the cardboard that we are still using, and definitely these potholes need fixing, among other things. And I also am hoping that maybe at some point you will allow Sparky to continue calling in and contributing.
Thank you very much. Okay, well, the voters card, that one's coming, they say, right? That's the one that you'll get out of that list. Good morning.
Hey, morning, Dwight.
Hi. Doing well.
Right, yeah, okay, one comment I want to make, right? A lot of tourists were complaining about when they purchased the items in the straw market, right, that it has on the back of it made in China. I find it a problem. Yeah, that's a huge problem because you ain't come to the Bahamas to turn around no souvenir on the back of the things they made in China.
That's very disappointing, I'm sure. Very disappointing, I'm sure. Yeah, okay, we lost him. Yeah, so we've got a lot of work to do, even with what is existing. But it sounds like we're going to have to play a bigger role in this. We can't wait for the government to be... We don't even know what they're doing, but they're saying they've received proposals. What does that mean? So that is the question. Do we make sure they understand we cannot let these investors tell them what they think we need? That we need somebody who will match the plan that we all have come up with for this area and other parts of the country that desperately need this. We have to continue this conversation, and we're going to do this often because how many years we keep talking about this, we are still in the same place. Still in the same place. It's scary, but we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to wrap things up with your business report. This is Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
At CFAL, we understand that a secure future is the greatest gift you can give your employees. That's why our tailor-made group pension solutions are designed to fit the needs of both large and small companies. With CFAL, you can provide the retirement you and your employees deserve, ensuring peace of mind and financial stability for years to come. Join the many businesses that have already entrusted CFAL to create the right pension plan for their employees, and let us help you build a brighter future for your team. Visit us at cfal.com to get started on building wealth so you can live well. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
Get ready to catch the thrill and win with Shell. Fuel up with $20 or more and unlock your shot at unforgettable prizes.
We're talking regatta trips to Exuma and Harbor Island.
Free fuel, grocery vouchers, water park passes, and more. Just snap your receipt and WhatsApp it to us at 242-422-0271. The vibes are high, the prizes are hot, and the summer is yours to win with Shell. Only at participating Shell stations in Nassau. Now through August 22nd. Terms and conditions apply.
When your hands are too full, life is just too complicated. Nala, Sally, come here. Uncomplicate. Go faster, say the digital way to pay. With Tap to Pay, it's as easy as a gentle touch. No more headaches. Say hello to convenience. The future of pay is digital with options like credit cards, debit cards, online banking, and digital wallets. Make every experience unforgettable. Embrace the ease of digital payments today.
Don't be left in the dark this hurricane season. Total Services Bahamas, your authorized distributor for Rolco, is ready to install and service a top-quality generator that will power your entire home, keep your lights on, your refrigerator cooling, and your house nice and cozy. When the lights go out, you don't have to. Total Services is here to ensure your comfort and safety this hurricane season and beyond. Complete generator solutions from installation to convenient rentals. Total Services Bahamas, number 98 Thompson Boulevard. Call 323-0400 or 1, or visit the website at totalservicesbahamas.com.
With RBC, your idea of loving every journey happens now. Free up cash with affordable auto financing from RBC. With competitive rates and no bank fees, it's the perfect time to make every journey something special. Apply now to pre-qualify in 60 seconds at rbc.com/auto loan to shop with confidence. Conditions apply. RBC, your idea of loving your journey happens here.
Got your business report brought to you by CFAL. Freeport Container Port is expanding its capacity and infrastructure with a $100 million investment. In a press release to media, Container Port said that a major $100 million investment is ushering in a new era of growth at Hutchison Ports FCP, marking the beginning of a transformative chapter focused on expansion, enhanced efficiency, and modernized infrastructure. It says these upgrades are a major step in making the terminal more modern, efficient, and ready for the future. Retailers Liquor Association and the government to crack down on window service bars, claiming that these bars are where most of the sales of liquor to minors occur. Robinson, who's also the owner of Base Road Wholesale Bar, told Guardian Business upon hearing that report from the Ministry of Health and Wellness that 75% of liquor stores fail to enforce identification requirements in regard to minors, saying that it's enforcing their stores because they actually have to come inside the store. The problem with folks selling liquor from windows is that they are lacking the face-to-face reaction with the customer. More on that in today's Guardian Business section. In your Market Watch, recapping trading of the Bissics from Thursday, your market movers, Consolidated Water closing at $5.86, down 6 cents. Emira Incorporated down 10 cents, closing at $11.03. The Bissics All-Share Index closing at 2,965.74, down 0.16. That's your Market Watch, and that is your Morning Business Report, brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations. That is going to do it for us today. Everybody, I hope you have a wonderful, safe weekend. I'll be back on Monday with more Morning Blend and Morning Blend Business right here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight, Strachan, be safe. Stay tuned for On the Clock with Aaron Green next.
You work hard for your money, so let your money work hard for you. With as little as $1,000 to start, you can watch your money grow by investing in CFAL's Bahamian dollar and US dollar mutual funds, each tailored to match your unique investment profile. Our expert advisors are dedicated to crafting personalized to help you achieve your financial goals. Don't miss out on the chance to earn higher returns on your hard-earned money. Join the thousands of investors who trust CFAL and start your journey toward financial freedom today. Visit us at cfal.com to learn more about our saving and investment options. And let us help you build wealth so you can live well. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.